Hello there, America! Tonight we're diving into the often confusing, occasionally terrifying world of Social Security. Now, for those of you lucky enough to be unfamiliar, Social Security is the biggest safety net we have. It's a program that provides a financial lifeline to millions of Americans, from retirees to disabled workers to surviving spouses and children. It's a big freaking deal. But lately, there have been some rumblings, some tremors, that suggest this cornerstone of our society might be on shaky ground. We're talking about potential cuts, whispers of privatization, and an overall sense that the very agency tasked with protecting Social Security might be undergoing some radical and troubling changes. We're going to break down what those changes are, what they could mean for you, and why you should give a damn, even if you're years away from collecting a single Social Security check. Because trust us, this affects all of us. First up, let's talk about the Social Security Administration, or SSA for short. This is the government agency that makes sure Social Security runs smoothly, or at least it's supposed to. Recently, the SSA has been hit with some pretty significant cuts. We're talking office closures, staff reductions, the whole shebang. The official line is that these cuts are about efficiency. But critics argue that these cuts are actually making it harder for people to access the benefits they desperately need. Think about it. Fewer staff, longer wait times, more frustration. It's enough to make you want to pull your hair out, assuming you haven't already ripped it all out dealing with the SSA. Now, let's talk about a word that strikes fear into the hearts of many Americans: privatization. See, there's this idea floating around that some folks would rather see Social Security run not by the government, but by private companies. The argument is that private companies are more efficient, more cost-effective. But critics worry that privatization would prioritize profits over people, leaving the most vulnerable Americans out in the cold. And the recent cuts at the SSA? Well, some see them as a step towards this very privatization scenario. It's like someone slowly dismantling a house, brick by brick, and telling you not to worry, they're just renovating. Section 4. A chilling email outsourcing and the future of SSA. And if those privatization fears weren't enough, let's add fuel to the fire with a rather unsettling email. This email, reportedly sent by the acting commissioner of the SSA, hinted at the possibility of outsourcing non-essential functions of the agency. Now, we're not entirely sure what qualifies as non-essential in this context, but it's enough to make you wonder if they're planning to replace Social Security representatives with those automated phone systems that never seem to understand what you're saying. You know the ones where you scream "representative" into the void, only to be met with, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Did you say you want to hear the hours of operation again?" The point is, this email, whether intentionally or not, paints a rather unsettling picture of the future of the SSA. Section 5. Ticking time bomb, baby boomers, and a system on the brink. And as if all of this wasn't enough, there's another ticking time bomb strapped to the Social Security system: the baby boomers. This massive generation, born between 1946 and 1964, is starting to retire en masse. And when they do, they're going to be relying on Social Security to help support them in their golden years. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if the system was fully funded and prepared for this influx of retirees. But with the cuts, the uncertainty, and the general air of chaos surrounding Social Security, well, let's just say it's not exactly inspiring confidence. It's like throwing a massive retirement party but forgetting to order the cake, the drinks, and, well, pretty much everything else. Section 6. A congressional tug-of-war funding the future of Social Security. So, what's the solution to this whole Social Security mess? Well, one word: money. See, Social Security is primarily funded through payroll taxes. You work, you pay taxes, that money goes into a big pot, and then it's used to pay benefits to current retirees. It's like a giant government-run Ponzi scheme, except it's not a scam, it's the law. Now, Congress has the power to adjust how much money goes into that Social Security pot. They could increase taxes, they could change how benefits are calculated, they could even, dare we say it, allocate more funds to the SSA to make sure it can actually function properly. But will they? That, my friends, is the million-dollar question, or rather, the trillion-dollar question, because that's how much money we're talking about here.